close your eyes.
Almost 300 miles, a crown jewel that everyone aspires to win. Tonight, Charlotte plays host to SnB's Memorial Day race. Welcome, everyone. It's going to be a fun one. I love this place. We have Repeat, as always, in the booth. How you doing, Pete, tonight?
I'm all right, Eliza. I got to tell you, the beast of the Southeast plays host to 30+ of the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series best. Ready to tackle this place for 180 laps tonight. It's going to be a phenomenal race. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is my favorite track personally, so you know I'm excited for tonight. We have 180 laps here, as you say. It's going to be a fun one. I see you guys in chat. Maddie, Wrestling, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, we're going to be seeing the skies go dark here tonight, but it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be slippery at first, especially coming out of 4. But tightness is going to be the theme of the night and tire wear. So these guys are getting ready to go to qualifying. Let's see how it goes. And I know we saw some 30.3s out there, so it'll be interesting to see what these guys can do, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about this just before we went live, Eliza. Going into 1 and 2, you want to carry a whole lot of momentum if you can, but at the same time, it kind of costs that right front quite a bit, because going into 1, all you got to do is just burp the throttle just for a second, and you can get right back on it. But 3 and 4, very, very loose, and if you get too low, you can definitely have a problem. You're going to have to use the banking all the way around this place. There's some guys out there that are great at saving fuel, saving tire, and are just all around great racers. I'm gonna pick your brain a little early. Who you thinking tonight?
Man, I gotta go with my team this time. John Honeycutt, he was looking fast during practice. He was a little concerned about how to drive it at first, but then once he put in a few laps, he was feeling pretty confident, had a solid time out there. So I got to say, John Honeycutt.
John Honeycutt's definitely very, very stout, very fast last week until some issues bit him again. I have to kind of go with a guy that I've watched for 3 seasons now, talking about Tom Harmon. I think he gets that Avril Camaro in victory lane, and he does so in great style.
Yeah, I mean, he is so strong wherever you bring him. Great choice, absolutely. Let's take a look at the board already. A 30.07 for Wisdom and O'Brien. These two are teammates. Absolutely incredible. They're racing for Nitro out there. So incredibly fast. And you have Brody Falliker, who we're still waiting to get that first win. It is coming, and it very well could be tonight. He's on the board with a 30.09 with Jeff Byers in P4. We've seen him up at the front of the field lately. 30.1, 30.07 also. And Harmon moves to second.
Yeah, Tom Harmon down to up to P2, was P5, P6 just a moment ago. So that was his best lap of record. Matt O'Brien goes to the top of the board in the Kings number 43. Andrew Wisdom down to P3 into 51. Brody Falco, like you said, the man has just been very, very stout. And how about that 333 Pantera car? I mean, Jeff Byers, he's really been laying some solid races together lately.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm excited to see what he can do tonight. As I said, it's one of my favorite tracks. Really, really fun. You do have to be patient with the tires, kind of back it off a little bit sooner than what you normally think in order to make those tires last. But O'Brien at 29.96. Harmon with a 98. So these guys are extremely close. And the top 10 is going to be Wisdom in third, Brody Falliker fourth, Matt Burgess in fifth, Rivers Jones in sixth, Jeff Byers seventh, Luke Allen in eighth, Micah in ninth, and PJ O'Leary. That's going to round out your top 10 so far.
Yeah, look at those guys in the top 7, all separated by just a tenth. You want to talk about being competitive, but right now those top 2, O'Brien and Harmon, the only guys in the 29-second bracket. Some pretty bad fast laps.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of these guys are so similar in time. That just goes to show how competitive it is out here. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see what they can do. But this is a Memorial Day race. It's a little bit early for us, but it is one that is honoring and remembering those who have lost their lives to keep us safe and to keep us free. So with that, I do want to have a moment of silence. All right, Pete, with that said, we do have some paint schemes out here that are just looking fantastic. Oh, last week we were at Darlington. This week, Charlotte. So back-to-back paint schemes. Some of these guys just really nail it week in and week out. Very exciting to see.
Oh yeah, last week was all about the throwbacks, to drivers in the past. This week, it's all star-spangled goodness everywhere around this great track in Charlotte, North Carolina, actually Concord, North Carolina. But this place gone through so many different transformations. As you look, I believe that's going to be the 51. I'm sorry, no, it's the 97 rather. And yeah, just an example of all these guys and the time and effort that they put in to their paint schemes just for this one particular race.
All right, we are ready to start 180 laps, but before we do that, let's get this grid started. On pole, we have Matt O'Brien with a whopping 29.9, absolutely flying. On his outside, we have Thomas Harmon in the 68 machine. Row 2 is going to be Andrew Wisdom with Brody Falliker on his outside. And row 3 is going to be Matt Burgess in that 12 car with Rivers Jones in the 6th position. And row 4 is going to be Jeff Byers with Francis Hamilton on his outside. And in row 5, we're going to have Jimmy Cocker in the 11 machine with Jose Ruiz in that 23.
Now we got Luke Allen in that number 7, sitting 11th, and to round out top 12, we got Micah Allard in the 61, rocking P12. P13 looks like it's going to be PJ O'Leary in his red, white, and blue number 24, with Jacob Locklear in the 84, sitting P14. P15, Jarrett Cardwell in the deuce with the 67 and Matthew Gale to his outside for row 8. Row 9 looks like Philip Bridgman in the 9 with Austin Mitty in the double deuce, sitting 18th. 19th going to be Jeff No in the 55 and Kyle Taub in the 13 to his outside, sitting P20.
Row 11 is going to be Dylan Robb in the 21st position with Joseph Turley on his outside. And in 23rd, we're going to have John Honeycutt with Jacob Palmer on his outside. And 25th is going to be Justin in that 47 machine, joining us not too long ago, doing a great job out there with Andrew Sanford in 26. 27 is going to be Tom Flitcroft in that 8 machine with Hunter Johnson on his outside. And 29th, we're going to have Jordan McGraw in the 34 with Connor Cunningham and sitting P30th. And Pete, take it away.
Yeah, 31st is going to be Brian Pizzicami in that 78 with Chuck Cody in the 31, sitting 32nd. And last but not least, the 92 of Kevin Dallator to wrap up this 33 Cup Series field. And Eliza, is a racked and stacked field. They're already out on track, getting ready to take the green. Good luck to them all.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. I'm excited. I think that if we can get past turn 1, lap 1, and off a turn, I should say, just say lap 1. Get past lap 1, turn 4, you're going to see Probably some carnage throughout the night. It is incredibly loose coming off of turn 4 as you're heading into the tri-oval. I see it over and over again as a driver, and watching drivers go through this, they will absolutely get loose off that turn 4 and into the tri-oval.
Well, coming through 3 and 4, get ready to take that green flag. Barney's got to have it up. But yeah, on that first lap, coming off 4, you get low, you try to get fast, you get back on that throttle as quick as you can. And because of that banking right in that one area, it's very tricky. But here we go, Eliza.
Here we go, getting ready for 180 laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They are off. Matthew O'Brien leading us to the green here. Thomas Harmon in second. Look at these guys going by. It is just neck and neck all the way through. Matthew O'Brien in the lead, Andrew Wisdom in second, Thomas Harmon in third.
Yeah, right now, Tom Harmon looked like he had a window on the bottom, but was not able to get in there. Right now, pulling ahead of the 12. All 3 of our leaders right now, we're up high. Shift gears down on that bottom side. Now coming through that treacherous first turn 4.
Yeah, we'll see how everyone makes do with this. Let's bring out the cameras a little wider here. But man, these guys are just on top of each other. Let's take a look. Brody Fowler and Matt Burgess. These guys were side by side just doing a Daytona throwback to a movie over there. Just beating sides back and forth on their cars. Just fantastic job. It's going to be a fun one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's still a lot of guys that are side by side all the way back through the field. Right now, only the top 4 are single file, as Brody Fowler and the 91 of Rivers Jones still side by side. And then that 333, here he comes, trying to make up some more ground.
Take a look at him. He's got Brody on his outside, very, very close to the wall. He's got Francis Hamilton behind him. So, you have to be, it's one of those tracks where you have to make sure you know the strategy on how to get forward. There's so much traffic going on. You have the 91 ahead of him, and there's a couple of drivers hitting the wall coming off the corner.
Yeah, coming off the corner, you get a little tight. You really got to try to put a little extra wheel in it. But you also got to be careful. By doing that, you're scrubbing the right front so much. I tell you, Brody Fowler and that 91, they are just, it almost feels like Nashville Super Speedway, where you just stay side by side, lap after lap.
On board with Jose Ruiz, he's currently sitting P11, and you can see just how crowded this track is. This is going into the tri-oval past the start-finish line, heading into lap 6 of 180, and there is not a lot of places to go right now. Still very crowded, and you can see Luke Allen in that number 7. He goes up high and has a lot of momentum heading into the backstretch.
Yeah, he was able to get on by the 23 of Jose Ruiz, pulling up side by side with that 333. Now drawing a bead in on the 91 of Rivers Jones. Rivers Jones, another one that's been showing a lot of progress lately, working his way through the field so far. I mean, Rivers Jones down 3, Luke Allen is up 3, Matt Burgess and Matt O'Brien both also down spots, but there's movers as well. Look at Matt Gale sitting P5, up 11.
Yeah, how about that? I'm excited for him. 11 spots gained for him, sitting P5, and he is right behind this 2 wide. We'll see if he can't make something happen, but right now, I'm just concentrating on my line, making sure I'm saving those tires, and I'm going to be here for the end, but I think he's kind of keeping it a little conservative, trying not to make too many waves, and he doesn't want to get involved in any shenanigans in front of him.
Not at all. Look at the one. I tell you, Brody Fowler really applying a lot of pressure. Big battle for the lead. Tom Harmon leading. Andrew Wisdom wants it. He's going to go ahead and move up high. Here goes Micah Allard, able to pace that number 61 to that white and blue line off of 4.
Woo!
It looks like we got some contact. Allard touched the outside wall. 68's almost spinning through the grass, but able to hold on.
Same story we saw last week. Tom Harmon going through the grass somehow saves it. What a fantastic save on his end. But he's going to fall to P15, so he's got to make his way back up front, and if there's anyone that can do it, he is definitely the one who can. Micah, he's still up there in P3. You can see him with Matthew Gale. He's going to second.
Yeah, how about Matt Gale and his gains? I mean, catching more. I mean, he's been picking up time and positions lap after lap. I mean, 14 spots in 9 laps. That's more than 1 car per lap, and he's not done. He's got Brody Falker and Micah Allard in his sights, and he wants the lead.
He wants that lead, no doubt. But Brody Falker, he is here. He is in the lead. Micah right behind him. Matthew Gale in third. Man, these guys are so incredibly close. Still back here, we have Jarrett Cardwell sitting P5. He just moved back to 6 as he's got Jeff Byers underneath him. How about this? Austin Mitty. He has just joined in this league. He is currently sitting P7, up 11 spots from where he started, Pete.
Yeah, there's definitely some big gainers, and this is all under green. Now 10 laps in of the 180. Looks like Micah Allard, he's up 11 spots.
Huge wreck.
Well, sure
Cars just scattered everywhere trying to miss it, and we'll see if we can find out what happened. But man, that started at the front. Brody involved. He was our leader. Let's see what happened. Gets on the apron, goes hard into the wall, comes back down, and I do believe that was Matthew Gale. It sure was in that 67 machine. What a heartbreaker all around on that one.
Yeah, very, very tough for Matt Gale. I mean, he was moving and shaking all the way through. Very, very, very unfortunate. The one, man, Brody Falker tagged that outside wall hard.
Let's go on board with him. You can see him hit there and just, man, hard hit for him. Does a relatively great job at keeping it off the wall. We'll see if he gets hit by anyone else, but he's definitely going to have some damage on that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, looks like pretty much everybody coming on down pit road, except for maybe the 11 of Jimmy Cocker. Looks like he stayed out. Maybe feeling like he doesn't have to go in yet. It's only been a 12-lap run, trying to maybe save a set of tires for a little bit later on. But the biggest thing here, Eliza, he's going to have the clean air all over the nose of that number 11 Hokies. I believe a Toyota TRD machine.
Yeah, definitely some strategy involved. We'll see how that plays out for him. We do have a few that are hanging out there as the rest of the field is off to pit road. But while we're out here, let's go ahead and take a look at Woody XCA, our series sponsor. If you can, you know what to do. Click on that link. Go give him a follow. And when he streams, show him some love out there. Tell him we sent you. He does such a great job. NASCAR Heat, Call of Duty. He's fun to hang out with. So show him some love out there and then come back over.
Absolutely, definitely not gonna want to miss what's coming up. Again, we're just working lap 12. We'll go back green about lap 14. But out of 180, there's a lot of great racing ahead. The 11-3 and the 8 now the top 3. Jimmy Cocker, Connor Cunningham, and Tom Flitcroft working their way up front, staying out. A little bit of strategy.
Absolutely. Let's try to get Jimmy Cocker in the booth here. Jimmy, you got a copy?
I got you.
All right. I see you had a little strategy call here. Take us through how your car is feeling and how do you think it's going to be on this restart?
Yeah, we took it really, really easy there to start that stint, and we just don't feel like tires are going to do anything. From our hearing, my teammates took fuel, but I'm feeling like there's going to be another caution here. I'll be able to come down. Thought I'd lead a lap, get the car out here, and didn't lead any laps at Darlington, but we'll get one led here at Charlotte.
Fair enough. You have been so consistent out there. Do you feel like you have a win on the horizon for tonight?
I don't know. I don't know who's fast yet. I really joined practice about 20 minutes to go, so I don't really know who's fast. Just gonna have to ride out and see who is.
All right. Well, lots of luck to you tonight. We'll be seeing you.
All right. Thank you.
There you have it from Mr. Jimmy Cocker. Fantastic driver. He does such a great job out here, and he's another one, Pete. I feel like I say this about a lot of people, but he is extremely fast. And I'll tell you what, he's got an entire army of teammates out there. I mean, so much so that they had to make 2 teams. They did a Toyota team and a Chevy team. So we have Jimmy Cocker, Dylan Robb, Andrew Sanford, and Andrew Zaff for Toyota. And the FIWB Chevy team is Brody Fallagher, Chuck Cody, Francis Hamilton, and Joe Berg.
All right, Elijah. Yeah, both teams are extremely stout. So
They
here we
are.
go. About to address the line. 8 car all over the back end of the 11. Gives them a little bit of a nudge, and we're away.
He sure did. I mean, Tom Flitcroft was not letting Jimmy Cocker sleep as we have somebody hard into the wall, and that's going to bring a caution out immediately.
We'll keep working on this thing for you. How you doing inside there? You
Trying to see if we can find out what happened there. It was towards the back, but we'll see if we can find out.
Jordan McGraw.
Ooh. Yeah, it looks like he might have had a nudge, or I'm not quite sure what happened there. Yeah, huge stack up. The 22 just slowed down. The car in front of him hit him, and McGraw just nowhere to go, and his car is absolutely destroyed.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, that usually you see that kind of an accordion effect going into one at Martinsville, not necessarily at Charlotte, but I think that might have been that little hiccup that the 8 had going into the back of our leader, and it just caused a checkup all the way back, and there was nothing at all that Jordan McGraw could have done about that.
Hard hit. He goes straight to the pits. I think that is going to be it for him tonight, unfortunately.
Well, Jimmy Cocker wanted to stay out, lead a lap. He felt the caution was going to come out. And Eliza, some people have to pull that strategy just to gain a point. Again, there's no reset going into playoffs because there's no playoffs. It is old school. Points mean everything all the way to the championship. And hey, the man called it right.
He most certainly did. And right now, he is staying out. So I'm kind of curious, does he see another caution on the horizon? But yeah, I'm kind of wondering, was it a stack up all the way at the front of the field, that accordion all the way to the back? Just really unfortunate to see that happen, but a lot of drivers stay out this time around, and we have about 8 drivers that have gone in, including Andrew Wisdom, Jeff Byers, Jacob Locklear, Matthew Gale, who is in, and a few others.
Absolutely. So we talked about Jimmy Cocker leading, Connor Cunningham P2, Tom Flitcroft P3. How about Jarrett Cardwell up 11 spots to occupy P4? Luke Allen, Matt Burgess, Rivers Jones, Tom Harmon. He's been able to pick a few spots back up after getting his tires to where they weren't so angry at him. And then Matt O'Brien P9 and Micah Allard P10.
Yeah, they're going to round out your top 10 there with Francis Hamilton on the outside looking in, having a great night so far. But, man, 2 cautions, lap 16 of 180, and it just seems like just restart kind of shenanigans there, Pete. We'll see if they can't get it right this time around, but it is a slick track when you're back out there, but that just seemed to be some kind of checkup and some contact.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was a little too coincidental that it happened on the bottom row, which is right where Jordan McGraw was, and you just saw car after car get into the back of, or having to check up really, really hard, maybe even stab the brake for just a second so you didn't hit the car in front and it went all the way to the back. Well, lights top the pace car are still on, so we're going to go around with one more pace lap. And then hopefully we'll shut them off then. Go back green on lap 19 of 180 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the Shake and Bake 180 brought to you by Woody XCA.
We have Matthew Gale back out on track. Glad to see it, and I hope he can make his way back out. But Brody Fallagher, he is still on pit road after hitting that apron and going hard into the wall. So I'm kind of curious if we will see him back out here anytime soon. But these guys still single file. So it's going to be definitely a long one as far as a caution tonight.
Yeah, once the lights on the pace car go out, they'll go ahead and get racked and stacked back up, as it looks like the 8 of Tom Flitcroft pulling down to the apron. Think he might have been served an EOL or a penalty for possibly causing that wreck. That means that the admin tower has possibly found Flitcroft at fault.
And if that's the case, that goes back to when he was on Jimmy Jimmy Cocker, and well, it looks like they might have changed their mind, Pete.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey, there we go.
That or he was just doing something. Sometimes these guys have to fix their equipment, and they'll say, hey, I got to pull off for a second, and back he goes.
Yeah, more than likely that was Mike Campbell up in the tower saying, "Psych, gotcha."
Huge props to these guys for being race control tonight. We have Woody, not Woody XCA, different Woody. He is out there in race control, and also Papa Bear, who takes his Monday nights, both these guys do, to help us out. So much appreciation, much love to these guys for helping SnB out.
Absolutely, both of them great admins in the tower, do a phenomenal job on replays and making sure that the race is run with the utmost of integrity. All right, Eliza, they are all back double file, swerving, trying to get a little bit of heat in those tires. Sun's gonna be going down further and further. Only part of the track is still lit. 3 on the outside, 11 on the inside. About to pull that trigger one more time.
The trigger one more time, and we're getting ready to go. Tom Flitcroft already all over the back bumper of Jimmy Cocker. We'll see how this restart goes as he tends to back it off just a little bit, and you see a little bit of space between these guys in the back. But man, another interesting part to this, a lot of these drivers are shifting down to 4th. So interesting to see which drivers are doing that and how it solves in the long run. But here they go, back to green. Jimmy Cocker got a nice start, and we have Luke Allen all over the back bumper of Tom Flitcroft, and he's going to make a move up high, Pete.
Yeah, Luke Allen in that Mountain Dew number 7, going to go ahead and get into that second row or second lane, but not enough there. Pulls back in behind the 11 and the 8, pulling a big old draft all the way down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. 8 of Tom Flitcroft goes up high. The 11 keeps it pasted to that bottom line. Long line of coming back to the 68 of Tom Harmon, who, by the way, up to P6. Let's go.
Yeah, he's just so crazy. I don't know how he does it. Going through the grass, manages to keep it straight. It loses almost 11, 12 positions, but here he is once again, and he's up P6. So great job to him. But these cars are starting to travel all over the track, trying to find the grip, trying to find where they can go, and a huge stack up in the middle of the field. Take a look at this, 3 wide, some bumping back and forth between these drivers. John Honeycutt involved, Justin involved, so man, it's looking a little sketchy out here right now.
Oh, that's looking sketchy back there. Nothing sketchy, though, about our new leader. Tom Flitcroft able to get around the outside of the 11 of Jimmy Cocker, take the lead. He's got that red, white, and blue Bud machine in the clean air. I tell you what, when this guy is able to get up front and lead, it's like his car just flips, and it's a completely different driver. He talked to me a little bit before the race started. He said, Pete, I'm not feeling too well. But you know what? Usually when drivers aren't feeling well, they got to concentrate more on the race, and they do just a little bit better. Look at the man fly.
Yeah, how many times have we heard a driver say, you know what, I'm not feeling confident tonight, I'm not doing great, and they walk away with a win. So I don't want to jinx him, so everyone knock on some wood with me, but Tom Flitcroft, he is looking strong, getting in a little bit of a gap out here, so doing a great job. It's great to see. I know he's been a little off lately, as getting involved in some shenanigans, but man, he is looking strong.
Another car looking strong, going shake a big purple with a 30 flat. Talking about Micah Allard back there in P6. The man just posting the fastest lap of the race so far on lap 23. So the last time he was on pit road was lap 11. So yeah, the guy's got a little bit more under the hood.
Sure does. These guys are just so incredibly close. Let's go back through the field here. We got Matthew O'Brien, P9 currently, just leading this next part of the field. I mean, just so incredibly close, 3 wide at some points. And take a look at that as these guys are just finding wherever they can go to gain a spot. But man, oh man, this middle part of the field, we're going to have to keep an eye on this, Pete. A lot of action back here.
Oh my God, you want to talk about a hornet's nest. It is an absolute gaggle of cars. The 43-23 leading the way. Then you got the 47 of Justin Aniscock, Francis Hamilton, PJ O'Leary, and Austin Mitty. They keep swapping positions back and forth, and everybody else behind them side by side.
Yeah, I'm on board with Justin right now, looking out the rear view here. And it is just so incredibly crowded. You got PJ in that 24 machine down low, Francis Hamilton in that 48 car directly next to him. But man, these guys look like they're trying to get some spacing between them. But that 99 car looked like he just got into the wall. That's going to be Hunter Johnson. And I feel like I say this every race, Pete. He likes to go high, and sometimes, yeah, he does. He gets into that wall.
Yeah, but you know what? That 99 is very, very strong all the way to the end of the race, unless he by chance happens to get caught up in somebody else's mess. We'll be looking for that 99 at the end of the race, and I guarantee you, Eliza, it'll be somewhere inside the top 5.
New leader out here, and it's going to be Connor Cunningham in that 3 car. Tom Flitcroft, he's going to fall back to P3, and Micah is going to be in 2nd. Connor Cunningham, though, 29 spots gained. And these top drivers, I gotta say, probably, yeah, the top 6 drivers, these guys are absolutely breaking away from the remainder of the field.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago. Micah Allard had the fastest lap. Well, now he's got himself in a leading position, but Connor Cunningham wasn't quite ready to give the spot just then. Tried a little bit of a side draft, coming off of 4, coming across the start stripe into 1 and 2. The lead belongs to the 61.
Yeah, Micah is going to lead that as we go on to the backstretch. Doing a great job, and Kerblam says your driver said that at Dover and won it, his first win in 5 years. So again, it just goes to show, like you said, Pete, when you're unsure of things and you're concentrating more on it, sometimes these drivers walk away with a win, and it's great. It's great to see the enthusiasm, the excitement when that happens. It's just, it's really cool to watch.
Absolutely. Talk about watching, see the 43 of Matt O'Brien and the 99 of Hunter Johnson. They were just side by side for a moment. Looks like the 99 was able to take that position. That's going to put the 43 behind him, the 47 of Justin, and then you got Jose Ruiz, PJ O'Leary now up a spot after starting 13th to P12. PJ may be trying to make a little bit of noise here.
On board with Hunter Johnson looking back, and that is going to be Matt O'Brien directly behind him. Man, just 2 by 2 all the way through, and then a couple of drivers just single file, but it is just so incredibly close. And then let's go out the front. He's got a car ahead of him, but take a look. The gaps are increasing for these top drivers. Hunter Johnson, he's currently sitting P9.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson, he's got Tom Harmon right ahead of him. When I say right ahead, we're talking almost a second. I mean, this race and these guys, the way that they're getting after it. Some people were saying, oh, Charlotte, it's going to be a whole lot of single file. Not so much. These guys are absolutely putting on one hell of a race. I mean, from behind the 99, the 43, the 47, and whatnot, it looks like they just took the green. They're still double file all the way back.
It is crazy. It's such a fun track, though. Very, very tight in the long run, but I'll tell you what, we're going to be under the sunset here rather shortly. In fact, we're definitely getting there. But dirty air is definitely a thing. So the guys, when you're behind somebody, you're going to get a lot more tight than if you were in that clean air. And I think that's why we're starting to see a little bit of separation. But once this track cools off, they're not going to feel as tight as long as their tires are okay. We'll see what they do and how they take care of that, though.
Yeah, speaking of the track cooling off, looks like right now it's down to a balmy 91 degree with an 85 degree air temp. Sim time right around 7:26. So as you said, that sun is setting. You can kind of see that sunset. Ooh, watching the 99 have a little bit of fun with Rivers Jones back there in that 91 target machine. But those guys side by side really just pinching each other down. But you see that golden glow around most of this track, letting you know we're about to see the lights come on and the track go dark.
Once again on board with Hunter Johnson in that 99 machine, still sitting. He's actually up 20 spots, sitting P8. Trying to catch up to teammate Tom Harmon. But these guys in the front, very, very spread out. Meanwhile, still on top of each other behind him. So very close racing, a lot of fun. Let's go through here. We got Matt O'Brien in 10th, Justin In 11th, PJ O'Leary in 12th. Austin Mitty up 5 spots to P13. Jose Ruiz in 14th. And Kyle Taub, another newer driver, he's sitting P15.
Yeah, behind Kyle Taub, you got Joe Turley in that 97 Chevrolet with the John Honeycutt. He's up 6 spots right now, sitting P17. Andrew Wisdom in that 51, really surprised to see him this far back, down 15 spots in P18. Philip Bridgman down 2 in that 9, sitting 19. And Jacob Palmer, he actually just took over 19th, up 5 spots so far.
Yeah, some of these guys involved in the first couple of cautions, just so unfortunate. But take a look at Micah. He has gained quite a few, almost a second, over a second and a half gap over Connor Cunningham, sitting P2. So he's got a nice lead out there, but Jimmy Cocker holding on P3 with Jarrett Cardwell in 4th and Tom Flitcroft. He's fallen back a little bit to P5. He's still up 22 spots from where he started, though.
I got to tell you, this is really a feel-good story for Jarrett Cardwell in the deuce. I tell you, that Black Horse Ford Mustang right now up 11 spots. Jarrett participates in the F1 Series in Shake and Bake, and now here in the iRacing Cup Series as well. And to show the progress, I mean, he hasn't been on iRacing all that much. He used to be a while back, took a break, and I mean, look at this guy. He's up amongst the group that we're normally talking about week in and week out. I think we can kind of put that deuce right in the conversation as well. Glad to see Jarrett running really, really well.
Absolutely. You know, I was talking to him before the race, and we were joking about, somebody asked how many laps we had, and I jokingly said 280 laps, and he said, you know what? I would be excited, because that way I can really see what my car can do, and he thinks he'd be good on the long run, and most certainly he's done a phenomenal job sitting P4, so excited to see it, excited to have him with us on the Cup Series side and not just F1, so great to see him out here.
Yeah, might have to get him into some of those long-haul endurance, what do they call them, VRS races on iRacing, and see what he's capable of doing there in some of those GT3 cars or whatever, and but yeah, again, just great to see him out here, first of all, and great to see the progress that he's made so far.
Pete, I got to bring out the points tonight. We haven't taken a look at them yet, but we have a new leader in the point standings. That is going to be Thomas Harmon. He has 323 points. In second, we have Matthew O'Brien, which was our points leader before last week. He's got 317 points with Andrew Wisdom, who has 4 wins. He's out there with 311 points. And Brody Fallaker, who I swear will get a win, P4 with 275 points. And Jimmy Cocker going to round out the top 5 with 273.
Yeah, and I tell you, the points margins between first and third are extremely close. And then Brody Fallaker back, as you said, with 275, 211 for Andrew Wisdom. Our leader's 323. So, I mean, anybody right now in the 300 still has a very, very legit chance, I would say, at a championship. I mean, Tom Harmon, Matt O'Brien, and Andrew Wisdom, 3 very, very strong drivers.
Absolutely. You know, when we ask these guys, we're having a 16-week season. Do you want to have playoffs? Do you want to just run it all the way through old school and do it that way? We had a couple of options, and it was very drastically towards this way. Just run it from start to finish. However you finish is what you do here. So every race, extremely important. There's no reset. So if you have a bad race, it's definitely going to affect you in the points. But Micah, almost 2.5 seconds out ahead of Jimmy Cocker. Phenomenal night for him.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. You know, like I said a little bit ago, Micah posted the fastest lap. Usually when you're doing that, you're burning your stuff up. You're just working your way through the field. He had to deal with all the dirty air that was back there, and now he's leading. And not only leading, he is extending that gap. 2.5 seconds over Jimmy Cocker, a full 3+ seconds back to Jarrett Cardwell, 3.5 to Tom Harmon, and I'm sorry, Tom Flitcroft rather, and then Connor Cunningham, he's 3+ back as well. Tom Harmon sitting 6th.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if he did take tires when he came in. What's his situation on that? Because I know a couple of drivers, they did go in the last time, but some of them took fuel only. But Jimmy Cocker, he is on one of the oldest tires out there, along with Tom Flitcroft and Connor Cunningham. They did not go in. They wanted to get those points. You heard Jimmy Cocker say that. He wanted to get that bonus point for leading a lap, so he stayed out and was expecting another caution. I'm curious, how is that affecting these drivers? How are those tires feeling? You know they have to be backing off those entries right about now.
Absolutely. One of the guys on the newest tires inside the top 15, talking about Andrew Wisdom in that 51, came in on lap 15. Most everybody else came in on lap 11. However, like you just said, Jimmy Cocker, Tom Flitcroft, and Connor Cunningham, they are on their original starting tires. So those guys, they're going to have an extra set in the pits. But man, what a great run for those guys so far. They're going to come on down pit road probably 10 or 11 laps before the rest. And when that happens, they're going to be making some killer lap times, really gaining big time on the rest.
Another interesting thing is on board with Andrew Wisdom, he is shifting down going into these corners. You'll hear him go up to 5th. There we go. And he'll go back down into 4th, heading into 3 and 4. So trying to get this car woed down, do a little evenly on the tire wear. That's the hope for some of these drivers, and kind of use those RPMs to gain as much speed as they can. I want to take it over to our leader, Micah. Yeah, he's doing the same thing. Going to be in 5th in a second, and I'll go back down to 4th. So something new. I've never experienced doing that here at Charlotte, but yeah, something different for these drivers.
I never thought about shifting at Charlotte either. You know, some people were saying that they were running, considerably fast times all the way around in 5th gear. But if you think about it, you get it down to 4th gear when it's the right time, so you don't over rev the motor. Not only does it slow the car down a little bit to where you don't have to, worry too much about abusing that right front because you're letting the motor do the work, but you're also getting that car to plant on the bottom. So you're not having to, again, turn the car too much. And same thing, get back up to 5th gear, carry max speed until you got to do it all over again. Very, very smart racing.
Absolutely. You can see these guys starting to split off and go into different packs here. Thomas Harmon sitting P5 with Connor Cunningham. Led a couple laps earlier on, and then in 7th, we're going to have Hunter Johnson, and he's going to have Matthew O'Brien in tow, who is going on the low side to try to make a pass. That is going to be for P7.
Yeah, those guys still running side by side. Luke Allen behind them in that Mountain Dew number 7 machine. He's up 2 right now, sitting P9. Andrew Wisdom in that 51 that you were just on board with. He's up to P10. He was a little bit further back last time I saw him. Justin Anisgok right behind him in that Sunny D machine, rocking 11th, up 14 spots. Kyle Taub actually battling with him right now for that spot. PJ O'Leary, John Honeycutt, and Francis Hamilton to round out the top 15.
Yeah, still a lot of close quarter racing out here in around 11th, 12th, and 13th. So any position is up for grabs with these guys, and Francis Hamilton is going to be towards the back of this. He's going to have Jose Ruiz to right behind, so this line is definitely not ending. Austin Mitty in 17th, so about 11th to, I would say, about 17th or 18th. It's crazy. A lot of cars, very close quarters, and they're still on the move.
I tell you, lads, I'm kind of curious. All right, so a lot of these guys were in on lap 11. We talked about Jimmy Cocker, Tom Flitcroft, and Connor Cunningham not going down pit road yet. How much longer can they stay out? Maybe not necessarily on the tire, except for the amount of time that they're having to give up, but on fuel. Any information that we can share on how long they can stay out there on one tank of gas?
Fuel-wise, I think they would be good for another, 15 to 20 laps. But tire-wise, I'm kind of thinking we're going to see these guys go in another probably 10 or so laps. That's my guesstimate right there, but they're definitely feeling the wear here, trying to search for the line which feels the most comfort for these drivers. It's going to be very, very tight out here. That sun is still setting. It's still pretty bright out here, so they still have a ways to go.
Absolutely. Looking at Jimmy Cocker right now in that Hokies number 11 machine. He's running that high side all the way through 3 and 4 as he comes across the start stripe to start lap 55. Trying to reel in Micah Allard, now down to 1.4 seconds. It looked like Tom Flitcroft up on the high side as well. Down the backstretch, this is really kind of where he let it all hang out before. And yeah, Eliza looks like he's going to do the same thing this time, right around the middle, trying to get it down to the bottom this time.
Yeah, you want that clean air. So these guys are going to, if you see someone taking that low line, you're going to try to take mid to high line. And that high line, you can get a lot of momentum coming off, and that's going to help you out to try to make a move. But it's going to be very, very difficult on these older tires to make anything happen. But Tom Flitcroft and Tom Harmon, they're going to be pressuring Jimmy Cocker right here. You see Tom Flitcroft all over Jimmy Cocker and Harmon. He's going to dive it in there real low. Almost looked like he was almost able to make a pass, but the momentum on that high side, it won this time.
Yeah, I mean, that momentum up on the high side after watching the 11, gain a little bit of time on Allard. Now you see the 8 up there. He is just absolutely rim riding. They used to call it the Dale line, and then it was the Kyle Larson line. Well, right now that's the Tom Flitcroft line, and he's making moves.
Yeah, a lot of drivers like it up there. It is definitely a fun way to go around, and that, like I said, that momentum coming off here. But Tom Harmon, he's holding down the midsection pretty steady, so we'll see if he can't make something happen as they go through the tri-oval. But they both pass up Jimmy Cocker, and remember, he has not gone into pit whatsoever just yet.
Yeah, so you got to kind of give Jimmy Cocker a whole lot of credit for being able to hang with those guys. And you see Matt O'Brien, he's sneaking his way into the top 5 as well. Still down 4 spots after starting on the front row. But he was way back in all that dirty air, all that traffic. It seems like not too long ago. And he's bringing the Kings 43 to life inside the top 5.
I would think, Pete, that with these guys battling back and forth and switching positions, that they would lose some time on Micah, but it's just the opposite. These guys have caught Micah just over half a second behind him. So I don't know if he's experiencing a lot of tire wear and is getting super tight from it, but he's getting ready to be under attack by Tom Harmon and Thomas Flitcroft.
I tell you what, Tom Flitcroft's all over the back end of that Avril Lavigne number 68, completely shoving him all the way through the tri-oval. He was not letting go, and I mean it looked like they were tandem drafting to try to catch up to that 61. Well, guess what? That lead now just down to half a second. The 68's got the draft of the 61. The 8's got the 68, and man, here they are.
Yeah, that draft is definitely in play, and Micah, he's going to have to defend that position or just say it's not worth it right now. I'm going to let him on through, and we'll meet again next time as he tries to save the rest of his tires. But lap 61 of 180. It's been so incredibly close. A lot of different packs, but this top 5, they have absolutely left the remainder of the field.
Well, how about this, B? It was originally Micah Allard who tagged the wall and sent the 68 back to about P15. As the 68 pulled up into the rear view of Micah, it said, hey, remember me? Goes around him. New leader, 68, Tom Harmon, to lead a lap and guiding that thing along the wall.
Yeah, phenomenal job. He's going to be taking a look at Avril out there as he sneaks back up top Micah, and Tom Flitcroft is going to go down low. He can tell that he's got some issues with those tires, not feeling exactly as confident as he was earlier on. So Micah going to fall back to P3. Matt O'Brien, he's just waiting to make that move.
Yeah, Matt O'Brien, he's been one of the faster cars over the last several laps, as now the 8's going to get on by the 61 as well. Matt O'Brien down on the bottom. He's going to end up side by side with Tom Flitcroft off of turn 2. Down the backstretch, both sitting behind that 68. Looks like the 8 might have the advantage. 43 is going to go ahead and close it in on that bottom side, pulling up on the 68, all back single file.
Man, what a battle for these top 4 drivers. Just absolutely insane. Doing a great job out here. And then in P5, we have Jimmy Cocker, who's kind of on his own little island out here, trying to catch up to these leaders. Andrew Wisdom, he's going to be kind of on his own little island, single. Hopefully he can get the draft of Jimmy Cocker if he can. These guys can make their way up there, but right now I think he's too far behind. Sitting P6, Hunter Johnson up 21 spots. And he's in that 99 car. Changed his number around. So P7 right now. Jarrett Cardwell in P8.
Yeah, Connor Cunningham sitting P9 in that number 3 with John Honeycutt right behind him to round out the top 10. Eliza, got a battle for the lead.
Take a look, Tom Harmon. It is between him and Matthew O'Brien as they make some contact. Going through the corner, Matt O'Brien up to the wall. Some more contact between the two. He's going to have to back it off, and Tom Harmon keeps the lead just for now as Matt O'Brien, he sits P2. Tom Flitcroft, P3.
I got to tell you what, I got to give a lot of credit to the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. He has not yet come on down pit road. All these other guys around him, 11-lap fresher tires, and he is able to hang right in, really making that high side work. I'd love to see what that Star-Spangled 8 would be able to do with 4 brand new Eagle Feel-Goods dealing with the same players.
Absolutely. I'm kind of curious when these guys are going to go in. I said 10 to 15 laps, and that was about 12, 13 laps ago, so we'll see if some of these drivers who have not pit, guys like Tom Flitcroft and Jimmy Cocker, if they're going to go in. But this battle is absolutely crazy. And Papa, I see you out there. Tom's parents, how are ya? This battle is just absolutely insane. Trading paint back and forth as they head through that tri-oval.
Yeah, coming across the start stripe to start lap 68. And I tell you, the 43 and the 68, they made a little bit of contact. He hasn't made Avril Lavigne too happy as of late. 8 still wrapping the high side. They have touched each other's doors so many times. Not quite sure if it's the 68 trying a little bit of side draft, the 43 trying a little bit of side draft, but either way, they're making this race work. Off of 3 and 4 yet again. They're going to be in the same position they've been over the last couple laps. 43 got loose.
Yeah, got loose, a little bit of contact there, and he's going to fall back into second and now into third as Tom Flitcroft takes that over. But, man, they're going side by side, and he's got a great run, Matthew O'Brien, on that low side. I mean, he really nails that in there, and Tom Flitcroft giving him a huge shove going down that front stretch into the corner here. And these guys are going to go side by side once again. I think Tom Flitcroft, he's trying to make something happen with these drivers. Maybe he can sneak in and take over that lead.
Well, the only thing he's sneaking in right now, Eliza, is pit road. So that's just answered that question. He's going to come on down for 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods on lap 70. So 70 laps on a tank of gas. And, man, it's that was one hell of a run for him, which means he can go to 140 on the next. And he's only going to have to pit one more time to make it till the end.
Yeah, that's going to be very close. Around what I thought it was going to be for tires and fuel. So these guys did a phenomenal job hanging in there for that. Jimmy Cocker, I'm kind of curious if he will be making his way in. I don't even see him up here. He might have gone in. We'll see. But yeah, a couple of takers for pit lane. You can see Luke Allen, Connor Cunningham, Rivers Jones making his way in. Kevin making his way out. Micah, he is on pit lane coming out. So we'll see these guys getting back out on track.
All right, so Matt O'Brien now has the lead uncontested. Tom Harmon behind Andrew Wisdom back to P3. Look at that, Eliza. Matt O'Brien started on pole with Matt O'Brien to his outside. Andrew Wisdom started 3. Guess who's first, second, and third right now?
Yeah, our top 3 drivers right where they started. And then you have Hunter Johnson up 24 spots. Jarrett up 10 spots, sitting P5. And Justin, he's out there up 19 spots, sitting 6.
Yeah, I talked to Justin Aniscock just before this race started. He said, Pete, I'm going to be garbage here. I literally have almost no time in these next-gen cars at this track. I said, Justin, you said that last week at Darlington, and you did just great. You actually you were battling for the lead before the unfortunate circumstances of the race. So right now sitting P6. Jose Ruiz right now after starting 10th, he's up to 7th. Kyle Taub up 12 in that 13 to P8. Francis Hamilton started 8th. He's back to 9th. And 10th, Jacob Locklear in that 84 Toyota.
Jacob Locklear making up some good positions here. We saw him fall back earlier on. I'm not sure if he was involved in an earlier incident, but doing a great job out there. Brian Pizzakimi, he is up 20 spots from where he started. He usually tends to start in the rear of the field, likes to start back there, stay away from all the shenanigans. He's making some nice gains, sitting 11th. And Matt, he's going to be in 12th. Unfortunately, back 7 spots from where he started. I feel like with him, Pete, we see him involved in some incidents during the race, and hopefully we can keep him out of trouble tonight for the remainder.
Well, right now, if anything should happen in front of this this number 12 A&W Mountain Dew Ford Mustang, he'd have enough time to kind of whoa and slow that thing up. A decent little gap between him and Brian Pizzakemi. Looks like PJ O'Leary in the 24 is going down pit road. Austin Mitty right now, he's up 5, sitting 13th. Jeff No 14th in that double 5, and Dylan Robb in the 03 P15.
Matt O'Brien still in the lead. Tom Harmon, he is down at pit lane along with Hunter Johnson, Jarrett Cardwell. Some of these drivers going down, so we'll see if we have any more takers. Let's take a look at Matthew O'Brien. 64 lap old tires, Wisdom 60 lap old tires, and then it goes to 6. That is matching O'Brien, so we'll see if these drivers come on down soon.
What I find kind of interesting, Eliza, is Tom Harmon came down on lap 70. These guys, it's 6 or 7 laps later. Meanwhile, they pit on lap 11. So Tom Harmon and Tom Flickcroft and a few more, they were able to really make up some time on these guys before they had to go down pit road. They're having to check up a little bit more in 1 and 2, also in 3 and 4. Meanwhile, that 8 has just been almost flat out. It'll be interesting to see just how much time he makes up once the full green flag pit stops are complete.
Yeah, you really want to make up some spots here, some time, and see what you can do on it. But also at the same time, if you have those long green flag runs, you have to make sure that you take care of your tires. So it's a fine line between be aggressive and make up some time and don't kill your tires. So we'll see how these guys do, how much time they make up. But it is fun when you're on those fresh tires and you can take that car wherever you want it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what would happen if the 8 of Tom Flickcroft took it up high and just really rimroad around this place for the foreseeable future, knowing just how fast that 8 Budweiser machine was up there, and considering he was able to keep up with guys that were, even if it is just 11 lap newer tires, he was right there with him battling for the lead. I think Tom's going to be a real player when this is all said and done.
I agree. I think for now, why he's not going up there is just if you hang out up there too much, it definitely wears the tires down. So it's something that you want to use when you're going against other people that are side by side and they're going down low. You can definitely use that momentum on the high side. Not something that you really want to do for a lot of laps because you will start feeling that tire wear out there. I don't know, Pete. I saw Chuck Cody has said that he perhaps wrecked, but no caution is out. I'm trying to see if I can find out, but I'm not seeing anything just yet.
Looks like Hunter Johnson, Dylan Robb, and Justin Aniscock now on pit road. Justin pit from one of the top spots. Looks like Jacob Locklear possibly on pit road. Nope, I take that back. But Matt O'Brien, Andrew Wisdom, Jose Ruiz making up our new top 3. Brian Pizzakemi P4 and Francis Hamilton in that Team FIWB number 48 to round out the top 5.
O'Brien almost has a second gap over teammate Andrew Wisdom, and then a 10-second gap between him and Jose Ruiz. So this just goes to show you how far this field got separated out there as Jose, yeah, we'll see him as he's on his way, and he's going to make his way to the lead as our leaders. They come down pit road.
Yeah, Jose Ruiz, he sees the 3 of Connor Cunningham right ahead of him, but I don't think he's going to be able to put him a lap down. Connor on newer tires. So Jose grabbing a point for leading a lap. Brian Pizzicemi, Jacob Locklear, Jeff No now in P4 as he brings it on down pit road also.
Jose Ruiz going to lead that lap. We see him out there. Brian Pizzicemi directly behind Jacob Locklear. So 2 FTR drivers in the top 3. Then Jeff No, and you see Tom Flitcroft. He's sitting P5 currently, 20 seconds behind our leader. He's on those fresh tires, so we'll see how he gets around, how much time he gains. But so far, 20 seconds behind, and I think that gap will start to close pretty quick.
Absolutely. Look at the gap between Tom Flitcroft and the leader, and then Tom Flitcroft and Jimmy Cocker. Talking about 3+ seconds. That is the difference in those newer tires. That star-spangled great number 8 will be leading this race once Brian Pizzicemi, Jose Ruiz will look like Jose Ruiz and Jacob Locklear now possibly on pit road. I said Jeff No went down, but I'm going to guess maybe just a little bit of a blink from him made it look like it. But Pizzicemi, Jeff No, and now Tom Flitcroft moves up to P3.
Take a look. Jeff No, yeah, up in second. Tom Flitcroft third. Jimmy Cocker is going to be in fourth. Back 21 seconds. Honeycutt is going to go up to 8th. Luke Allen in 7th. Connor Cunningham in 6th. And Tom Harmon. See him back here in the top 5. 24 seconds behind, and so many different strategies, Pete. A lot of these drivers going in at different times. I'm very curious how it's going to fare for these drivers, but man, I just saw a blink of Brody Falliker. Just so heartbreaking to see what happened earlier on as he sits 32nd, and he's out on track, but unfortunately the race did not go how he wanted to.
Yeah, the man will be back next week, no doubt. How about this, though? Jeff No in this TJ's team, number 55, out here leading laps at the Beast of the Southeast, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Great to see old Stout Whiskey having something go his way. This man has needed a horseshoe that's never been turned upside down and still had all the luck left in it. He has had some wicked races since joining iRacing off a console going back a couple of years now. Great to see him here in Shake and Bake and leading laps.
Absolutely. He's making his way down pit lane. Then we had a close call as he makes his way down there. Tom Flitcroft, he goes back to the lead as Jeff No makes his way in. Jimmy Cocker going to be in second, 4 seconds behind, and Tom Harmon is going to be 6 seconds behind, sitting P3.
All right, so Connor Cunningham, we were thinking that he might have been going a lap down earlier. Sits P4, up 26 spots. Kind of shares the biggest mover award right now with Tom Flitcroft, who currently leads the race. Luke Allen sits P5. He's up 6. John Honeycutt actually just put Luke Allen back to P6 as he takes over P5, up 18.
Absolutely insane. I love to see all the different strategies play out here. The top 8 drivers, most of them are around 17 to 19 lap old tires. And then you have a few that are a little bit newer. But man, oh man, pretty much the same strategy for these drivers. I'm kind of curious how it's going to play out, but Tom Flitcroft still in the lead here, looking very, very solid. John Honeycutt up in the top 5. Connor Cunningham up 26 spots. So these drivers just switching musical cars back and forth as these strategies play out, Pete.
Absolutely. You know, Eliza, as I look at a track map here on my screen, this track literally looks like a conveyor belt of cars. There are cars all the way around this 1.5 mile juggernaut that is Charlotte Motor Speedway. And it's now it's really all of, we talk about every now and then, you know, having to race the racetrack. And once you can catch your competition, that's where you make your move. Well, now a lot of people have no choice but to race the racetrack and wait for those that are ahead of them pushing a little too hard, work their way back to them, and they move on up.
Big Lando, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. He says, am I able to join a race sometime? Right now we have entries closed off, but if you join Discord and keep in touch, we might be able to fit some people in, but there is some criteria you have to be able to meet. We'll see what happens there. I'll get you set up and show you what Discord is, but yes, I think, thank you, Pete. I think a lot of these drivers are kind of thrown off tonight, especially with the shifting down and its different strategies on tire wear and how you just approach this track is really creating these gaps, and the long green flag runs are definitely cooking up some different strategies. It's so fun to watch, and man, oh man, Tom Flitcroft. Let's see if we can find out who he's next to. That's the 31 driver. You can see him hit the wall a little bit in that corner there, but they are still off and running, and that was Chuck Cody and the 31 machine.
Boy, Chuck Cody, a little bit of a move there. I thought for a second he was going to tag the back end of the 8 coming off the corner, but able to keep it moving. Now Tom Flitcroft, 3.34 seconds between himself and Jimmy Cocker. Tom Harmon, almost 5 seconds back. Connor Cunningham, 8+. Same with John Honeycutt. Andrew Wisdom and Luke Allen both in a 9-second bracket back. And then Jared Cardwell in the deuce, sitting P8, 10+ seconds back with Justin Hansagak. Man, that 8 is having everything go his way right now.
He sure is, and I hope it stays that way for him. I know he's looking forward to it, but we're on board with Jimmy Cocker right now, and you can see his view. He's got his eyes set on Tom Flitcroft. We'll see if he can't close that gap. Currently about 3:30 behind, but man, it is so incredibly close. And Tom Flitcroft, he's got some draft help from a lap car, so that is not going to do Jimmy Cocker any favors.
No, not at all. But Jimmy Cocker, he's very, very fast. And he's got the 03 coming up behind him, also a lap car. So lap cars definitely coming into play. And then the next same lap or lead lap car behind him is going to be Tom Harmon sitting third. Back one after starting outside pole. John Honeycutt a little ways back, like we just mentioned. And then Connor Cunningham in the 3, but very, very separated around this track.
Andrew Wisdom in 6th and Jarrett Cardwell in 7th. And this is where this race comes in. Jarrett Cardwell was one of these drivers that they want to see the long runs. They know that they have a good tire strategy to hold on to the tires, keep that wear intact. And I think some of these drivers that were hoping for a long run, they're really enjoying what they're seeing right now. And it's playing out how they want to, especially for guys like Tom Flitcroft.
Yeah, you see the 61 of Micah Allard also in that little bit of a mix, but I don't actually see him as actually being in that spot.
He's 25th.
Wow.
I don't know if he got stuck by a penalty or what exactly happened to him, but not what you want to see. He is down a lap.
Man, so Micah Allen led a bunch of laps, showed to be very, very fast early on, and started to pull away until Tom Harmon and company was able to catch him and then push him on back in the ranks. But man, very, very interesting for that 61. I'm sure he would love to have a caution come out, even though right now he's showing third behind Tob and one other as far as the Lucky Dog recipient.
Same story with Jeff No. He sits down currently a lap, sitting P24 directly in front of Micah. Unfortunate to see for these drivers. Hopefully we can bring them back onto the lead lap. But man, Pete, this is one of those races where I kind of want to see it play out, especially for these drivers who are just doing a phenomenal job on strategy and keeping out of trouble. We'll see how this plays out, but Tom Harmon just under 2.5 seconds behind Tom Flitcroft. And then in third, we're going to have Jimmy Cocker.
I tell you, I mean, with the way the field is spread out, Eliza, this has a very big green flag field to it. I really believe in about 41 laps, we're going to see that number 8 for Tom Flitcroft come on down pit road for his last stop of the evening. And he's going to have that advantage again. And he's been able to stay up front now for 40 laps. So or if not right about 40, about what, 30 laps, give or take. And I really do believe that he's going to be the man to beat. He's going to be first down pit road again, and he's going to build that lead back up, and everybody else behind him is going to be trying to play catch up the rest of the evening. I think this is the 8th night. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, we didn't say Tom Flitcroft, but I'll tell you what, he's extremely strong out here, and it wouldn't be the first win for him. So we'll see if he can make it for win number 2. But you can see here's Tom Flitcroft, our current leader. Tom Harmon not too far behind, and there is only a car that separates Tom Harmon and Jimmy Cocker, and that is going to be the 03 of Dylan C. Robb. So these drivers very, very close. And then P4, that is going to be a little bit of separation for him as he goes through the tri-oval, and we have our leaders heading into turn 2.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom starting to make a little bit of noise. It's about that time of the race now with 78 laps remaining, working himself into the top 5, right along with John Honeycutt. He's up 18 spots in that Team FDR Melody Woodworks. Number 50 Chevrolet, Jarrett Cardwell, up 9 in that Mustang also. And I tell you, Jarrett Cardwell, he said he wanted that long run, Eliza. You mentioned it before. Here he is looking underneath that 50 of John Honeycutt. Can he get it done with Justin Anaskok right behind?
Yeah, quite the pack that we have right here. A ton of racing and a ton of positions up for grabs, and these guys are going to go for any and all that they can take. Justin and Jarrett, newer drivers into the league, so currently sitting 6th and 7th as they are side by side behind John Honeycutt. And then Matthew O'Brien sitting 8th, and going to have Connor Cunningham right in the rear of this pack. Racing is incredibly close, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon, Pete.
Not at all. 47 of Justin Ascot looking underneath the 50 of John Honeycutt. They got the 43. Again, those King's colors on that Advent Health. I believe that is a Toyota. There we go. If you're a big fan of, Chevrolet versus Ford, Ford versus Toyota, Chevrolet versus Toyota, whatever make and model you prefer, I tell you, those are the kind of battles that a lot of people watch right now. That Camry able to get around those Chevys and Fords to kind of lead this pack, possibly 3 wide. Goes the Deuce, and the 3 Connor Cunningham just watching along.
Absolutely incredible. And I got to take it back here. I see some action that might have happened for Hunter Johnson. Gets on the apron there, goes through the grass, kind of ramps it over there, and we'll see if he can make it back on the track. Dies going into pit lane, and yeah, bad news for him, but it is kept green out here on track.
But you know what? Look at the way he... I thought for a second he was going to be able to keep it off the inside wall.
So
just
close.
Not so much. But great hands up until that point, guiding it straight through the grass. I think it was when he hit the brake that he tagged the inside wall. Very unfortunate for Hunter Johnson. Real-life racer of some mini trucks and a couple other things here in the J-Big iRacing Cup Series. And, man, he has been an incredible ad since Season 1. And it's always great to watch him charge his way through the field. Tom Flitcroft still leading now by a mere 1.1 seconds over Tom Harmon. So right now it's a Tom and Tom show. Jimmy Cocker holding on about 3 seconds back. Andrew Wisdom 5 seconds back. Matt O'Brien 7, now almost 8 seconds behind our leader.
Yeah, these guys, Tom Harmon starting to catch him, but the remainder of the field spreading out just a little bit as we head 108 to 180 laps here. Send and Rage says, I drove it into the wall, had to pit twice because iRacing didn't give me tires on stop number 1. So unfortunate to see. That is Hunter Johnson that we just saw on the replay. Man, having a great run. Unfortunate to see, but I feel like this sunset has been going on for a while, Pete. But man, look at that sky out there. So pretty.
Yeah, all we need are those northern lights that we've all seen over the last few days, and that would make the race complete. But yeah, sun completely going down. As you can see, completely set behind the grandstands here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the action on track is going to get hotter as the sun goes down. Tom Flitcroft now being run down just 6 seconds back to, I'm sorry, Tom Flitcroft being run down. Now just half a second back to Tom Harmon. Jimmy Cocker hasn't been able to make up the quite the same time as Harmon. But Harmon, I tell you what, that Avril Lavigne number 68 Camaro, absolutely on rails, Eliza.
You can see those eyes, and that Avril Lavigne machine is on the run, catching up to Tom Flitcroft there. He's using the high side, trying to use that momentum off the corners, and Harmon is going to use that inside as he is trying to keep out of that dirty air and use a different line. He's going to let that go up track a little bit, but man, oh man, this race is about to heat up, and we got some lap traffic involved. And you know Tom Flitcroft is saying, please get out of the way. I got places to go.
Not only that, he doesn't need all the dirty air to make that number 8 Camaro any tighter than it is already. Working lap 111, coming to 112. The last time Tom Flitcroft was on pit road was lap 69, coming out lap 70. The last time Harmon was on pit road as he challenged him for the lead, 3 wide, was lap 69, coming out on 70. Double wide, up by the wall. The 8 did great in that line much earlier in the race, carried all kinds of momentum. Can he keep the 68 at bay to where he can't get on that throttle? Way down, pitch him on the wall. Contact.
Huge contact with the wall. Tom Flitcroft not going to be happy about that situation with the lap cars in contact with him and Thomas Harmon. These drivers always are very, very clean racing, but man, oh man, so unfortunate to see there after leading so many laps. Harmon, he is now the new leader, up over a second and a half and still increasing with that gap.
Yeah, that 8, it really had to kind of gather it up. As you take a look at the right side of that 8 for Tom Flitcroft, he's not going to be too happy. These things, they call them tanks. But I tell you what, you damage that toe link, or I'm sorry, the tires, and they will they'll play havoc on you the rest of the race. Yeah, looks like Tom Flitcroft's really struggling.
Yeah, not happy. You know, he's got to be extremely frustrated with this as he is trying to make his way into pit road to fix up that damage, possibly new tires. Maybe the last pit run of the night. We'll see what happens, but he's going to continue to fall as he makes his way in. Thomas Harmon in the lead. Andrew Wisdom is going to be second, with Jimmy Cocker has fallen back to third. Matthew O'Brien in fourth, and Connor Cunningham having a great run tonight, Pete, in that 3 machine. He's out here P5.
Yeah, Connor Cunningham doing great in that Dale Earnhardt number 3 good wrench machine from yesteryear. Look at Justin Anscock right now, up 19 spots, sitting P6. And Jarrett Cardwell, we continue to talk about him in these long runs. He said he wanted it to see exactly, or show exactly what his car had, especially when you were joking around about it being a 280 lapper versus a 180. Now working 116. Cardwell's kind of shining as well. Been right around P7, just hasn't yet been able to crack the top 5.
He's doing a great job, though. It's been fun to watch out here. Maddie, I see out there. Racer Rex, Sober David. I hope you guys are doing well. Mr. Met, thank you so much for the sub. 34 months. He says some hype out there. I know this race. My favorite track, so I was excited for tonight. 117 out of 180 laps, and as Pete was saying, with a couple of these drivers that love long runs and a little bit longer races, they like how their car handles on those long runs, and that is going to be Jarrett Cardwell. And I know Matthew O'Brien, he usually likes a longer run. Tom Harmon, again, a longer run driver. So these drivers, I'm sure, are enjoying having this green flag run here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is where Tom Harmon, Andrew Wisdom, and the like really shine under the long run, where they know the field is spread out. There's less of a chance of cars getting into each other, except for Tom Harmon and Tom Flitcroft, that is, and able to really work on that gap. Unfortunately, Tom Flitcroft did get the brunt of that contact, as the 68 was able to go on, and not only go on, but extend his lead over Andrew Wisdom by just over 2 seconds. Eliza, we're going to start to see some of these guys come on down pit road. It's very, very unfortunate that Flitcroft's night may have, taken a turn for the worse. I think he's probably going to be the car to beat, but we'll have to see how fuel strategy plays out for a few of these other guys.
Yeah, I'm absolutely gutted for him. He just had such a fantastic run, a great car, and you see him sitting on pit road. You see the damage on the side. I'm kind of curious that he's still out there, to be honest, Pete. I know he's got some damage, but I didn't think it was that severe, but here we are. And as he is sitting there in 29th position, Harmon still in the lead, Jimmy Cocker. We're starting to get on these older tires. Jimmy Cocker, 51 lap old tires. The oldest out there out of the top 8 drivers. We'll see if these guys start going. Oh! Well, that brings
Got a
out
wreck,
the
67 into the outside wall.
Let's take a look, see if we can find out what happened here. Jeff No into the back of, looks like the 67. Not quite sure if we can see, back that up a little bit.
Henson 88 just resubbed for 42 months.
Man, I don't know if he was getting a little loose and Jeff No just hit him, nowhere to go. Very interesting though, Pete.
Yeah, 55 into the back end of that 67 going into the corner. Maybe the 67 was having to roll the corner a little bit longer. We are deeper into this green flag run. Maybe the 67 is a little tight, backing up the corner a little bit, try to carry a little bit more speed off, but very unfortunate for both drivers.
Taking out that long green flag run, runner third caution of the night. And I was just saying, everyone is loving these long green flag runs. Here we go. That switches things up. Everyone is going to be on an even playing field at this point, caught back up. This is where we might be able to get into some shenanigans as these guys enter pit road.
Yeah, it looks like right now the top 4 all nose tail, a little bit of a gap from Connor Cunningham on back, but everybody on the lead lap down pit road for 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, fill it up with that Sunoco Virtual E15 Racing Fuel, working lap 123 of 180. If we should happen to go green from here, everybody can make it to lap 180.
Close call for these drivers. We'll see what happens. You know what? Let's go ahead and bring Tom Flitcroft into the booth here. Tom, it's Eliza. How you doing out there?
We had a good shot at the win today. I'm feeling really terrible, and I think this car might be bad luck for me. I raced him hard, and I knew he had fresher tires, and we just kind of came together. It's just frustrating because I knew I was gonna let him by, but I guess I should have just given him more room. So
glad to see you back out there, but unfortunately, 29th position. Do you think you can find your way back up onto the lead lap? And I don't even know how many laps you were down, Flitcroft. 7 laps. So man, it's just it's tough to see. You definitely had a winning car out here tonight. You hate to see it.
no, it's like I said. I mean, we just kind of came together. It's just it's just hard racing, and like I said, being under the weather, it's kind of not. It's not the easiest to function, so thought process wasn't exactly there, but I just expected him to be more patient, or I could, lead one more lap or something, put on a show for the fans, but
well, you guys
the right
definitely
front
did.
tire got broken. Yeah, no, I mean, there's still lots of racing left. I don't know. I don't expect to have any shot to get back on the lead lap, but I mean, who knows who's going to win this thing now, honestly. I just kind of flipped the race upside down for you guys, so that'll be fun to see and see how it all plays out.
It sure did, most definitely. Glad to see you back on track. Wish it was on the lead lap, though, but hopefully next week will be different luck. But, man, really fun to watch you out there when you were leading.
Hey, I appreciate it, and I'm okay. No injuries, no damage that I have to repair on the car, so it could be a lot worse.
Glad to hear. All right, Tom, we'll be seeing you. Lots of luck in the remainder of the race.
Thanks, guys. Have fun up there.
Will
Appreciate
do.
you, buddy.
All right, that was
Oh,
Mr.
man.
Flitcroft. So heartbroken for him. under the weather. You heard him there. Harmon, he's going into, said he's out pitting. Are we having this glitch here where it says the leader is going to be pitting the entire time? I don't know, Pete.
I don't know either, but I tell you what, Harmon was really appreciative of the lead that he had over Andrew Wisdom. Andrew Wisdom, once he sniffs clean air, I mean, the man is a beast, and he'll do whatever he's got to do to get on up there. A few seasons ago, he was all about the road courses. Nobody could beat him. Everybody was arguing who was racing for second. Well, this man last season really, turned up the wick and showed that he was able to get it done on the ovals as well, and he's been almost unstoppable. 4 wins, I believe you said earlier in the evening, so far this season, 3rd in points, as I look at it, and he might be just about trying to add win number 5 on season. He's got his teammate on the bottom row, just behind the 68. Jimmy Cocker in that 11 to the outside, and then the 50 of John Honeycutt in that Team FTR Melody Woodworks number 50 for P number 5.
Yeah, and Tom Harmon, he has no wins this season, so he is really, really hoping to get that first win here tonight. But Andrew Wisdom, I mean, he's going to fight tooth and nail for this. He's got the car to do it very fast. A lot of these drivers do, but we'll see what happens. I think this is the start of a lot of aggressive driving. Elbows are going to be out, Pete. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now.
Absolutely, elbows out. Aggression level kind of coming up just a little bit. Working lap 125, coming to lap 126 of 180. Who's ready to try a little bit of full send to get the clean air on their car? Pace car's pulling off. Barney's got the green flag in the air. Eliza, we're going racing. Let's go.
We're going racing. And Hinton, I got to say thank you for the 42 months as we go back to green. And Tom Harmon, a great start for him. O'Brien in second, Wisdom in third. But thank you so much. That is absolutely insane. 42 months. I appreciate it. These guys, 2 and 3 wide, starting in mid-pack, and this is where it could get crazy. Coming off of turn 4 is going to tell us a lot, Pete.
Turn 4 coming around for the first time. Very, very loose. You see some of the guys. John Honeycutt got a little loose, but able to save it. That's going to cost him about 4 or 5 spots, but it looks like Harmon able to hold on. 43 right behind, and then that 51.
Coming off of turn 4, that is always going to be the sketchiest part on lap 1 and 2, especially when you're so close together. Look at these guys going down the backstretch. 2 and 3 wide, just everyone vying for position. It is so incredibly close, and these cars will break loose coming off turn 4 into the tri-oval, but they're holding on to it, Pete. Now it's be aggressive, but save those tires.
Yeah, 51 looking to the outside of our leader. Here he comes. Talking about Andrew Wisdom right now. It's showing him with the position round the outside of the 68 Avril Lavigne Camaro of Tom Harmon. Clears him. 51, now your leader.
51 is your leader, and like Pete said, if he gets this tonight, it will be his 5th win of the season. But take a look, Matthew O'Brien and Jimmy Cocker side by side. This is for P3, and you got John Honeycutt in 4th with just so many drivers, nose to tail and side by side all the way through. And take a look at Tom Flitcroft. He was on that high side rocking it, and I'm trying to find him as we have to go back here as he's a couple laps down, but man, he is all over that high side.
I tell you what, from behind 11 on back, you'd swear we were at the new Atlanta, not Charlotte Motor Speedway. They are side by side. It looks like we're in a big old draft pack going all the way to the back of this field. 43 and the 50 side by side. The 3 of Connor Cunningham sitting right there on the bottom. How about the 12? Matt Burgess right now sitting P7, down 2 spots from where he qualified, but having a phenomenal race considering the luck that he's had over the last couple weeks. And Jared Cardwell to his outside.
Man, Connor Cunningham all over that apron. I thought for sure he was not going to be able to hold on to that, but he went and he was fine. Matthew O'Brien really testing the limits. You can tell he is just all over that track, trying to gain any momentum he can to make it pass in that 43 machine. But we'll see these guys, what they can do. Nose to tail all the way through. This racing is just heating up. It is going to only get more aggressive here on out.
Absolutely, yeah. Because this field is still side by side, that goes to show everybody is on the throttle as much as they can. Yeah, they've got to save just a little bit for the race a little bit later on, but I don't think anybody on track got that memo. They need to be lifting a little bit with the amount of laps that are left, as the 2 and the 3 almost make a little bit of contact. And man, are they rolling?
They are rolling, and Tom Flitcroft got into the wall, kept it up there, lost a couple of more car positions, but he is several laps down. Not going to matter in position wise. But man, take a look at these drivers from the blimp view. Just so incredibly close, side by side. There is not a break in the field. And then you got Andrew Wisdom, who is leading the pack, and it's 2 all the way through, right behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. 68 and the 50 of John Honeycutt side by side. 43 and the 11 of Jimmy Cocker both side by side. Look at the 48, Francis Hamilton on the high side, right behind his teammate Jimmy Cocker in that Hokies number 11, and P.J. O'Leary sitting P7 up 6 spots. That man, I mentioned it earlier, at the time he was only up 1. Look at him now.
Absolutely insane. You gotta love this type of racing. I wanted to see the strategy play out, but then it's so tempting. You know what? Let's rack them up again, get them close to each other. But that 11 car had a little bit of a nudge from behind. That's going to be PJ O'Leary. Give him a nudge out there as they head through the tri-oval. Lap 135 of 180. Andrew Wisdom in the lead, and Racer Rex says, not gonna lie, may have bet all of Frozen Toe's birthday present money on this race. My favorite track, so I love seeing it. We have a battle for the lead. Andrew Wisdom, Thomas Harmon, side by side. Andrew Wisdom gonna hold on to it for now. We'll see if Tom Harmon can make a move to the lead.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom keeps on trying to come down, but Tom Harmon is still on his left rear, disallowing it. 51 not going up to the high side, keeping the 68 pinched down low. That way the 68 can't open up the wheel and carry max speed up off the corner. Gives a little bit of an advantage to the 51. John Honeycutt watching all this happen. Behind John Honeycutt, Francis Hamilton, Luke Allen, Jimmy Cocker were 3 wide for just a moment, but this battle up front for the lead, as it looks like the 51 is able to clear the 68. Oh, the 68 might have been thinking about a crossover for just a moment. Just the momentum was not there.
Very, very close for these drivers. The top 2 on top of each other. And let's take a look behind John Honeycutt. That is going to be Francis Hamilton, and behind him, as Pete said, Luke Allen. These guys nose to tail, trying to use all that they can to make up some time and get through. We're going to have Francis Hamilton. He's going to go to the high side of John Honeycutt. Make that pass. He goes to P3. John Honeycutt to 4th.
Yeah, Francis Hamilton in that team FIWB number 48. He's absolutely rolling. He's only up 5 spots, but you know what? I've seen him a little bit further back. He's got the red, white, and blue rocking all over the hood of that Camaro, sitting P3. This could be a great night finishing for driver 48.
Luke Allen takes it down pretty hard, down to the low side, as he is trying to make some moves. He is right there, right ahead of Matt Burgess and Jarrett Cardwell. So we'll see if he can't make up some positions. He's got PJ O'Leary in front, and these drivers, they know that they have to make something happen. They have to keep these cars behind them and make some moves going to the front, but it's going to be difficult. You have that tire wear always in the back of your mind. You have to be aggressive, but make sure you hold on to those tires. Matt Burgess gets nudged by Jarrett. How did he save that? Incredible save.
Caution.
Caution's out.
I just saw a car floating in the air. Okay, let's see what happened here. All right, let's bring that back a little bit, see if we can find out. 22, man, just a huge stack up from the 12, trying to save that nudge from the 2. That's going to stack these guys up, the 43, the 22, and yeah, several cars involved. Man, that was a hard one. I don't know if there was any getting through that one.
No, Matt O'Brien's going to take yet another hit in those points. And yeah, I saw that car, as you said, kind of riding on top of one and riding the wall at the same time. Very unfortunate. Last week Tom Harmon took over the points lead. Well, he's gonna pad it a little bit more between himself, Matt O'Brien. But right now, Andrew Wisdom, he's in the lead. He's his part of his competition as well. Again, there is a mere 6 points or 12 points between the leader Tom Harmon and Andrew Wisdom. Oh,
If we can go on board of Rivers. Looks like we're on board Matthew Gale right now. Did a great job getting that thing mowed down. Keeps it off the wall. Fantastic job on Gale's end there. Just a great job. I'm going to try to go on board Rivers Jones. I want to see his view as he gets thrown up in the air here. Tries to miss it, just nowhere to go, and he takes a ride on top of another car here. It's going to be a lot of damage for Rivers Jones, unfortunately.
yeah, again, Rivers Jones, he was showing some glimpses of speed last week at Darlington. We were talking about the progress that he's made, and a lot of the drivers here in Shake and Bake from season 1 to season 2, and then again from season 2 to season 3, a lot of progress throughout the fields.
You love to see the field stack up, but then you know that it's going to bring this. It's just so incredibly hard racing, and the more laps that we scratch away here, the more aggression is going to come out. And I don't think there's really anything there that was aggressive per se, but it's just really tight racing, and that's just going to ramp up.
Yeah, Sober David says, I know wall riding is a thing, but not riding on the wall. Well, wasn't it Herbie the Love Bug who did that at California in Herbie Rides Again or something like that? But yeah, definitely a scary ride. We've seen that in real NASCAR as well. A lot of damage to a lot of those cars.
Fortunate to see here. Andrew Wisdom to the lead. Thomas Harmon in second as these guys made their way onto pit lane. Francis Hamilton sitting third at the moment. Jimmy Cochran fourth. John Honeycutt in fifth. And he's going to gain the most positions out of, I would say, the top 15 or so. And possibly more. He's up 18 spots from where he started. Great run for him tonight. And we're going to knock on wood for these drivers in the lead. Keep them out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, nobody else besides Connor Cunningham back in 12th are right about the same amount of progress through the field, we'll say. And that's also plus 18 in his number 3 Camaro. So Honeycutt and Connor Cunningham doing really, really well. But glad to see John Honeycutt right now sitting in P5. Jimmy Cocker, I mean, he's been solidly inside the top 5, it seems like, all night long. Francis Hamilton up 5. Big strides for that Team FIWB number 48. And then, of course, Tom Harmon and Andrew Wisdom, guys that we talk about week in and week out, no matter the kind of track, Eliza.
Absolutely. They do a phenomenal job out here. Lap 142 of 180. Seeing that we have most of this race underway, who are you picking now for the win?
Oh, the field. Man, I don't know. That 48, I think if he can get up on that high side and continue to rip like he was doing, or like we saw Tom Flitcroft do earlier, he might have something for him. But again, that 51, he's really deadly in clean air. We'll have to see. How about you?
Man, it's going to be a hard one to top because he does have so many wins. He's so extremely consistent. We've seen it. We've talked about it. He does well on the road courses, and now he's bringing it over to the oval side. He's definitely a threat for the win. I kind of want to go underdog, and I'm still saying John Honeycutt. I'm hoping.
Hey, Melody Woodworks Team FTR number 50 would look bad in victory lane at all here in the Queen City. Again, if you just joined, this is the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series 180, live from Charlotte Motor Speedway, brought to you by Woody XCA out there on Twitch. Don't forget, go on over, give them a follow, whether it's iRacing or Call of Duty or whatever. Go on over, follow them, come on back, catch these last few laps here from Charlotte. It's definitely sure to please. Pace car's pulling off, Eliza. We're going back green.
Going back green, and you can see these guys stacked up, ready to roll. And man, oh man, that line is long on that low side, but Andrew Wisdom has a fantastic start. Not a great start for John Honeycutt sitting back there, but these guys, a little bit of gap. Andrew Wisdom, he's looking strong though on that start.
Yeah, working lap 144 of 80. So, I mean, you can't just go all out from here as the 51 and the 68 kind of playing follow the leader a little bit. 51 trying to break the draft of the 68. So he knows the 68 strong, doesn't want to give him any little bit of help whatsoever. And saw one there that looked like it was John Honeycutt, and a couple people are going to be able to get on by him.
Yeah, it's turn 4. I'm telling you, everyone gets loose there, and it can be disastrous when you're coming off exit, headed into the tri-oval, but he holds on to it. That's going to cost him some spots, but Francis Hamilton, P4, you can see these guys nose to tail, and then back on through. It's going to be Jarrett Cardwell and John Honeycutt side by side, and that is going to lead an entire pack of drivers that are side by side racing.
How about Luke Allen in this number 7 as Tom Harmon goes shake a big purple with a lap of 30 flat, running his fastest lap so far this evening, and he knows that he's got to go hammer down if he's going to catch Andrew Wisdom, especially with the benefit of clean air on the hood of his Toyota. So I mean, it is what it is right now. A little bit of a battle a little bit further back between the 12 and the 7. Great to see that A&W 12 again having a great night here in the Queen City. 7 up high, no momentum, gonna fall in right behind the 12.
Yeah, he's having a great run, and a couple of these guys getting on that apron, but they hold on to it, which is great to see. But nose to tail all the way through single file. We're gonna have Tom Harmon trying to go for the lead, absolutely dead even going through the corner. Maybe a little contact. Andrew Wisdom goes up to the wall. I don't think he hit it, but these guys still side by side.
I tell you, 68, he's had a few guys to the outside as they absolutely rub fenders. 51 has to give it a little bit of a shake to the right. And, yep, looks like they were both able to make it off the corner. Still side by side. Jimmy Cocker and the 48 of Francis Hamilton watching all this plays out as PJ O'Leary back there in P8.
Ooh.
He's showing signs of shake a big purple as well, posting his or the fastest lap of the night so far with a 29.89.
Absolutely flying out there, and Tom Harmon had to hold on to that machine. He was all over the apron. I was just talking about it. Almost loses it. You could see his car just go completely sideways. He holds on to it and didn't really lose anything at all, but definitely a close moment for that 68.
I tell you what, Francis Hamilton and Jimmy Cocker, yeah, they're not on the same team per se, because one is in a Chevy, the other's in a Toyota, but all parts of Team FIWB. They didn't need to be running side by side right there. They really should be nose to tail to try to work something out on the duo they got right ahead as the 51 now completely clears the 68 down the backstretch, single file, 4 or 5 deep.
Francis Hamilton taking it pretty easy behind Thomas Harmon. Doesn't want to make any waves just yet. Wants to see what Tom Harmon is going to do. You can hear his engine let off a little bit as he caught up to Tom Harmon. Didn't want to make any waves with him on how his car is going to handle with a big push. Being very, very patient, and that's, I think, going to pay off. But man, coming up soon in the next 20 or so laps, these moves are going to have to get aggressive. What happened? I just saw somebody disappear. They're okay, so no worries there. But man, I think that was Wisdom that just disappeared.
Yeah, for just a second, and that's got to be a little unnerving for the 68 of Tom Harmon. Anytime a car disappears, you don't know where they're at. They reappear, and you got trouble. The 68 of Tom Harmon searching way up high as the 51 goes on up, almost pinches him in the wall. It looks like the 48 able to close in ever more, pushing all the way down the backstretch.
Dives it down low. They're going to be side by side once again. Does not have enough momentum. You know that 68 is getting a little frustrated. That dirty air and going down low, it's not as powerful as that high side coming off the exit. So he's really making Thomas Harmon work for that lead here. And so far, he's keeping him in check and keeping him behind. Francis Hamilton is going to knock into that wall pretty hard. That's going to cost him a little bit of time as, man, hard hit for him.
Yeah, that dirty air, I mean, absolutely plays tricks. You got the wheel turned. You think you're going to make it through the corner. All of a sudden, that car in front just flashes across the hood of your car. The dirty air is packed on, and the next thing you know, you're meeting the wall.
Druism, our leader, keeps blinking out, and you know, as Pete said, that is going to make that 68 a little nervous. So we'll see how that goes as we enter the final few laps of this race. But 68 having no luck on that low side. He's going to have to try to make something happen. You can see him making a little bit of contact on his quarter panel. This is a close race here, Pete.
Absolutely, the 48 of Francis Hamilton. He was just shoving that 68 into the corner. It looks like 68 might have had just enough roll. Will the 51 try a crossover? Doesn't have the speed. Also tags the wall just a tad. But it looks like Francis Hamilton, the health of that machine's all right.
Great run for him. Just so happy to see that for him. I know he's been wanting this for a while. That 51 taking a look of our leader, the 68, and he's going to dive it in the low side. He's going to have a nose out, just absolutely sends it. Will the 68 have enough momentum to bring it back? No, the 51 going to do a slide job directly in front of him. 68 going to go on the low.
Yeah, 68 pulling a crossover, 51 up high. 48 still watching out his front view as they make contact through the corner, through turns 3 and 4. That turn 4 wall comes up very fast, having to check up just a tad. It's a drag race across the line. 24 to go.
The countdown is on. 24 laps to go, and it is heating up for this lead. Beating and banging on those doors. These guys' elbows are out, and we're seeing that lap after lap. How about that? Racer Rex says, darn dirty air. I'm telling ya. Havoc, what's up? Hope you're doing well. This race is crazy.
Oh, this race is absolutely phenomenal. Really loving how much this 48 is trying to play spoiler, maybe trying to get these guys to go into the corner just a little bit stronger than they want. He's been kind of playing bumper tag just a little bit, and just as I say that, 68 and 51 still banging doors coming off of 2.
I am so nervous for these guys. I'm on the edge of my seat. I want to see it. I want to see the aggressiveness. I want to see the hard racing, but man, oh man, I'm going to be so heartbroken for them if one of them wrecks. You don't want to see it. We saw it with Tom Harmon and Tom Flitcroft earlier on. I want to bring these guys home in one piece, but man, what a race here at Charlotte. Incredible for these drivers. And Andrew Wisdom, he is really wanting his 5th win, and I'll tell you what, Thomas Harmon, he's wanting his 1st.
Yeah, absolutely. This 48, and now he's got the 11. And the look at John Honeycutt made up those spots after losing a little bit, going through that little patch of grass, or getting loose off of 4, I should say, and then the patch of grass. But the 11 of Jimmy Cocker, he's made his way back up to the back end of his teammate. Still top 2 side by side. 21 laps to go, Eliza. Going down the backstretch, it's just been drag race after drag race. Who can get into the corner and get that exit just a little bit faster than the other? But they've been pinching each other down, making occasional contact, testing out that old theory that 8 tires are better than 4.
Top 13 drivers have separated themselves from the remainder of the field, so anything can happen with these drivers. But man, oh man, Austin Mitty kind of on his own little island, and Dylan, he is going to lead, I'll say, that second pack, and it's only a couple of cars, so not a lot of people out there. And Matthew O'Brien, we saw him earlier. He got pole tonight. He's sitting P18.
Yeah, Matt O'Brien, he's got no front bumper whatsoever. So a lot of damage to that machine. So very unfortunate for him, but he's doing the right thing, Eliza. Instead of just parking it, saying, hey, I know that I'm going to take another big hit in the points, he's out here because, hey, you never know.
Yeah, he fell to second in points, and man, oh man, take a look at this battle up here. He fell second to points to Thomas Harmon, who is currently sitting P2 in a huge ongoing battle with Andrew Wisdom, who is currently holding that lead, and Francis Hamilton, we're seeing him get really frustrated and starting to get really aggressive. He's wanting to make up some spots, saying, you know what, if you can't take over this lead, I gotta make some moves. It's my turn. I gotta go.
Yeah, and he's got some help from the 11 again. Jimmy Cocker right up there with him in his Hokies machine, pushing that 68 down the backstretch, trying to get him back up there with the 51, because the more the 68 and the 51 battle, the more the 11 and the 45 can get up in that mix as well. The 11 getting on by, 48 falling back into the clutches of the 50 of John Honeycutt, and here comes the 7 of Luke Allen.
Here comes that 7, that bright, colorful Mountain Dew car looking great in P6. He's got Brian Pizzikimi in 7th, having a great run, up 24 spots from where he started. So great night for him so far with 17 to go. Still a lot to happen, but Andrew Wisdom, he is out right in front of Thomas Harmon. These two no longer battling side by side, but I think that's going to change again very shortly.
Oh yeah, it's 16 laps to go. Kind of ride around just a little bit, look for different lines, that way you don't lose too much time to the guy that's below you. Carry as much momentum as you can, meanwhile not scrubbing too much off of that right front. Right now these cars, they're really not loose that much anymore. 68 says, oh yeah, Pete, watch this. Goes ahead and throws it low. Had to check up just a second, didn't want to get in to the left rear of that 51 off the corner. Brings it back single file, 50 and 48 now double wide.
Yeah, throws it a little too low, rides that apron, and he has to back off in order to keep that car steady. But not for long. If you notice, when they were battling before, Andrew Wisdom was on that high side. And then when they were back nose to tail, it was going to be Thomas Harmon that takes the high side. So these guys are switching. Tom Harmon, when he knows that he needs to make up some time, he's taking that high side. Andrew Wisdom, when he's trying to keep Thomas Harmon behind him, he takes that high side. So a lot of different strategies in play here, and that's going to wear on these drivers' tires.
I'll tell you what, we're going to wear some more. Here's the 68 inside the 51, going through 1 and 2, now down the backstretch yet again. Avril Lavigne looking pretty serious on the hood of that Camaro. 51 to the outside, back double wide. That's going to bring the 11. Ooh. They're still banging doors, going through 3 and 4. Again, that turn 4 wall comes up very quick, but Andrew Wisdom able to keep it off the wall.
He's still holding on to it. We're on board with Andrew Wisdom, currently sitting first. Tom Harmon keeps getting a nose out. We'll see these guys side by side at contact at least once a lap between these drivers. This is incredible. They've been doing this for how many laps, Pete? When is this going to end? At the checkered?
I tell you what, if the 11 has something to say about this, he's been saying, you know what, you guys go ahead and do what you're doing. Meanwhile, I'll save a little bit of tire, stay right there in the draft, push them down across the start stripe. They are nose to tail, 3 deep, as the 11 looks inside the 68, but I don't think he's going to have the run. He's going to wash up towards the wall. 68 tags the wall.
He tags the wall. Jimmy Cocker tags the wall. Just a huge checkup with these drivers. And you know that's going to feel a little bit in that draft for Thomas Harmon as he glitches out there just for a quick second. But, man, it is definitely heating up. I'm a little nervous for these drivers because once these drivers know that there's only a few laps to go, that's when you get the send-its and the slide jobs. And we'll see how it fares out. But, man, elbows are out. We've seen it lap after lap, and these guys are going for everything that they can. And Jimmy Cocker still getting that gear down to 4th and using everything that he can in this machine.
Yo, it's interesting. I look at the lap times, who's faster, who's slower of the top 3. Yo, Tom Harmon, he's been fastest 2 of the last 5 laps. Jimmy Cocker, he's been fastest 3 of the last 5 laps. And Wisdom's been right there with both of them. Man, this is a great duel. And here comes John Honeycutt. Where'd he come from?
Where he come from? He's passing up Francis Hamilton, who has fallen to P6. You can see him right there, having a great run before, but unfortunately could not hold on to it. But John Honeycutt making his way up 19 spots, sitting 4th. Take a look at this. These guys just side by side, and this is about to be a four-man dance for the lead.
John Honeycutt now up 19 spots inside the top 5. Solidly as the leaders again make contact off turns 1 and 2. Jimmy Cocker to the outside. John Honeycutt in that Team FTR. Melody Woodworks, number 50, just inside. The 11 kind of pinching him down just a little bit, but the 11's going to drift up. Can he keep it off the wall? Yes, he does. They stay side by side, but the 51 takes the lead again.
51 takes the lead, and they do have a lapped car up ahead. I'm not sure how much that will affect it, but if you recall, earlier on, Tom Flitcroft ran into some traffic, and that allowed Thomas Harmon to not only catch up, but to pass. And then we saw the incident between the two as he was trying to make a move for the lead. So 8 to go. It's coming down to the wire, and man, it's going to be a great finish.
Absolutely. John Honeycutt gets by the 11, and Jimmy Cocker takes over P3 solidly. Sees a 68 Avril Lavigne Camaro right in his windshield. John Honeycutt got the win at Dover, his first ever win in 5 years of Shake and Bake. Can he possibly grab himself another one here? Like you said, there is a damaged car, a lap down car right ahead of him. How much havoc can that play? We'll have to see. A little bit more of a gap than we've seen as of late from our top 3, top 2 per se, as the lap car moves to the outside and lets the leaders go on by.
Yeah, I do believe that's going to be Tom Flitcroft, who was just battling not too long ago for the lead and in the lead, leading several laps, but stays up high. Oh, man. Top 3 drivers, Wisdom, Harmon, Honeycutt. We have Jimmy Cocker directly behind him. So anything can still happen with these drivers, but Wisdom, he is setting this up so he gets his 5th win of the season. Thomas Harmon, another second for him unless something changes. He's got to do something, and he's got to do it quick, Pete.
I tell you what, I don't think Tom Harmon's going to settle for second. He's not going to be the groomsman per se anymore. The 50 of John Honeycutt closing in yet again. Brian Pizzichemi right now, P5 up 26 spots. Officially the biggest mover of the race so far with just 5 laps remaining. Can he get on up there? He's got a Team FIWB Camaro in Mr. Cocker right there in front of him. Maybe a little bit of help as they try to push on through. Honeycutt going for second.
See if he can't make it stick. It's going to be close, but that is going to allow these drivers behind of Jimmy Cocker and Brian Pizzichemi to hopefully catch up. Hopefully for them, not hopefully for our leaders, as Andrew Wisdom disappears once again. Tom Harmon trying to save it. I don't know if there's contact between him and Honeycutt, but man, oh man, loses a spot there. Honeycutt goes to second. Andrew Wisdom almost increases that gap to half a second.
I think there might have been a little bit of net code between the 50 and the 68. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but now you see the 11 and the 68 battling side by side. That's not what the 68 wanted. I don't think he's got enough time left to cool down those tires, so he's got to beg Avril Lavigne for just a little bit more grip, trying to catch up and pass the 50, trying to get back to P2. He is the points leader. He'll be able to keep that points lead tonight. Andrew Wisdom, even if he does grab this W, he will not yet be able to catch Tom Harmon, but it's going to be a great race next week between those two and more.
Absolutely. I don't know what Andrew Wisdom has done differently, but man, his improvement on ovals has just been absolutely insane. With 2 laps to go, I don't think that these drivers are going to be able to catch him. We have John Honeycutt not that far behind, but it's final lap here, and he's going to be battling it out with Thomas Harmon, who is looking to take over that spot. So Andrew Wisdom, I say he's taking home his 5th win.
Yeah, he's going to take home his 5th win. And Eliza, I just took a little peep at the schedule for next week. Can you say road course?
Road course. It's Sonoma, baby, as we bring Andrew Wisdom his 5th win of the season. We're going to cross him across the line. I hope I'm not jinxing him, but here we go. Huge victory for him once again. Is that an oval? And it's Charlotte, baby. We're going to bring home Thomas Harmon in 2nd. I know he's probably like, I'm a bridesmaid once again, but great finish for him. He fought so hard for that lead. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done tonight. John Honeycutt in third, Brian Pizzakimi in fourth, and Jimmy Cocker is going to round out the top 5. Brian Pizzakimi, how about that, Pete?
How about that, Bri getting it done? Great finish for the 78, up 27 spots. Officially the biggest mover of the race. Nobody else even close. Andrew Wisdom gonna come on back to the start stripe, light him up. Big celebration for him tonight. And Eliza, I predict another next week.
You know what? It's very possible. We've seen it before, and with his road course talent, it is crazy. I absolutely believe it. I cannot find Andrew Wisdom. Do you see him out there? There he is. I just found him. Okay. There we go. All right, we'll get Andrew Wisdom in here. Thomas Harmon in second. Here we go. But man, what a win for Wisdom. He had to keep Thomas Harmon behind him. What a battle out there. So fun to watch. We'll try to get him in here shortly. All right. Andrew Wisdom, man, what a battle out here. Pete, can you bring in Honeycutt for me?
I got him for you.
Thank you, thank you. Andrew Wisdom, Miss Eliza, just your 5th one of the season. Absolutely insane. Take us through the battle with Thomas Harmon.
I'm like out of breath, to be honest. I haven't driven that hard in quite a while. I thought it was going to be hard to beat that battle I had at Vegas with Holzer, but I think that one topped it. I don't know if I've ever been side by side for that long in my life, but yeah, it was awesome. I thought. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I felt like I was a little dirty, kind of giving a little nudge or trying to pinch down probably a little farther than what I should have if I was being a proper, true good sport about it. But it's just like, it's so hard to do everything you can to try to keep the track position, and the outside I think was the stronger lane. If you could, if you could manage to keep it in the middle of the corner, stay side by side, you'd probably get them on the exit. But just, yeah, it was tough. The inside had a lot of grip on entry. I was hoping a lot of times that the guy that was in third when we got side by side would kind of go up on the high side with me and give me a push, but it seemed like that never really happened. It seemed like they kept going low. So I was like, every time somebody'd get in behind Harmon on the front stretch, I was like, oh man. But yeah, somehow held on to it. Pretty crazy.
You guys battled so extremely difficult, so hard for that lead position there. Were you excited when you saw that caution came out after that long green flag run, or was it something that you were not looking forward to?
I was honestly hoping it would have stayed green. I felt like we were in a pretty good spot on the tire strategy. We'd pit a little bit later, and Tom had really good pace for being on a little bit older tires. I wasn't really sure how it was going to shape up in the long run. But I felt like we probably should have gained a little more ground by the time the run was over. And then I kind of felt like I had more options on, how to approach that final stint of the race if it went green. So I was kind of hoping, just for the sake of having strategy options and then kind of having the field already super spread out, kind of gave me a little bit more to work with. But obviously I can't complain too much because it worked out in the end.
It sure did. That high side definitely helped you out with that momentum, and you guys battled tooth and nail for it. You guys were making us nervous. So fun to watch, and I can imagine that you're out of breath because, man, it was pretty intense up here. So much fun to watch, and just a huge congratulations to you on the win here tonight. Have you looked at the schedule? Do you know where we're headed next week?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about next week.
We figured.
Had to go through that mental note throughout the race. I was like, all right. Especially after we got caught off of that wreck at the beginning. I had over 2 minutes of repairs I had to make.
Wow.
But somehow the car is like fine, I guess. That was surprising, but yeah, I was like, all right, try to salvage like something decent, maybe try to make up any points or at least not lose as much. And next week, like, I should have a good result at least, hopefully, barring any issues. So, yeah, this is just like the cherry on top, I guess, managing to come back from that and ended up winning.
Absolutely. Well, you took that 51 Budweiser machine into victory lane once again. So huge congratulations to you on the win tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Pete, it's your turn for Tom Harmon.
All right, Tom Harmon, it's Pete. You started second, finishing second. One heck of a race between you and the 51. One heck of a race for you all race long, all 180 laps. It seems like you had Avril Lavigne screaming around Charlotte Motor Speedway here tonight. Walk us through those laps, lap after lap. You taking the low side, then the high side. You searching for a little bit of clean air wherever you could find it, and then what looked like a little bit of neckhood between you and the 50 of John Honeycutt set you back a little bit, but you're able to race your way back on up to P2 again. Please walk us through, sir.
Yeah, I was hoping to dive it into one of the corners one of the time, get Andrew clear, which I did for a while there, but that draft is just strong and pulls you right back to him. And since he was out front, he had the fresher tire, or not really fresher tires, but better cared for tires. And it was hard. And my goal was to get him side by side, pull him coming to the line, but I just didn't get the opportunity, unfortunately.
Sonoma next week on tap. Elevation changes, different ways of attacking some corners, some very sharp corners, high speeds through the S's. Is that track going to be a little bit of contention for you, or are you going to have to burn the midnight oil trying to get ready for next week?
Oh, I'm sure I'll end up in a wall at some point, but we'll see. And I definitely won't be putting in any practice prior to the practice session. So, next week be interesting. Happy about mid-pack. Andrew will take a comfortable points lead, I'm sure.
Well, definitely a great race as always. Glad I got to catch you in it once again. Man, I just want that one more spot for you. Way to go, Tom.
Thanks, sir.
You got it. All right, Eliza, part of Team FTR, talking about that Melody Woodworks number 50, John Honeycutt, and he's with you.
John Honeycutt up 20 spots from where you started the race. I was talking about you pre-race and how you were trying to find different strategies and different ways to drive the car to your liking and make it work how you need it to. How did that go throughout your race, and how'd you find your way up there?
I'm still trying to figure that out. Yeah, I had a really bad qualifying. Tapped the wall just a little bit and screwed up my lap time, so I started way deep in the field, not where I wanted to be. It got caught in a wreck, and did a little bit of damage on the front right corner of the car. Got most of it fixed, but I knew it was going to affect me a little bit. But yeah, got up there and I was in the top 5 during one of those last green flag runs, and I was kind of hoping that the caution would come out, and sure enough it did, and restacked the field, and I knew if I could just stay up there with the leaders, I could maybe have a shot at it. So I end up battling with those guys up there, and Tom and Wisdom were putting on a show for sure, and that was a lot of fun to watch. And I did enter 3 a little high. I did get into Tom's just a little bit. I just entered just a little too high and got really tight, so got into Tom. He came back, and obviously he was doing a really good job and plowing it in there and got back his second spot, so that was fun. But other than that, it was a fun race. I can't believe I was able to make it back in, but it was good racing.
A great race for you guys. So fun to watch. It's why it's my favorite track out there. So we're going to a very difficult technical track of Sonoma next week, Pete. It's going to be a wild one for sure. But John, huge congratulations to you on P3. A solid night once again. I'll tell you what, I had you winning the thing tonight. So close, very close. We almost had it.
Yeah, I was really wanting it. But I just got caught up in one of those accidents, and I felt like the car was a little off from that accident, but got enough repairs done to get to the front, so it was good enough for me. So good night.
Great comeback. All right, Pete, Sonoma next week.
Absolutely going to be a lot of fun. Like I was just mentioning to Tom Harmon, very, very technical track, uphill, downhill, wide sweeping S's, the hairpin. It's going to be a phenomenal race. Cannot wait to get there. Can't wait to be back in the booth with you.
All right, same time, same day next week. It's going to be Monday night, 8:17 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. And Harmon, thank you so much for the raid. I saw that. I appreciate it. What a fun race. If you did not catch it, take a look at the battle between Wisdom and Harmon. It was never ending. A great race. Thank you guys so much again. You guys have a great night.